Their hearts stopped. In front of tens of thousands of people, with millions more watching live, these players collapsed and, for a few terrifying minutes, they were clinically dead. But unlike so many others, these five got a second chance. This is the story of the footballers who died on the pitch and somehow came back to life. Case 1. Christian Eriksen. It's the 12th of June, 2021, at a packed stadium in Copenhagen. It's the European Championship, Denmark against Finland, and the whole world is watching live. Christian Eriksen, Denmark's star playmaker and one of the best midfielders in Europe, is playing in his home country in front of his own fans. Then, towards the end of the first half, with no one near him, Eriksen suddenly collapses face first onto the grass. Within seconds, players realize this is not a normal injury. His heart has stopped. His teammates form a human shield around him to hide him from the cameras while medics perform CPR right there on the pitch. The Denmark team doctor later said it plainly. Eriksen was gone. They shocked his heart with a defibrillator, and after agonizing minutes, they brought him back. He was fitted with a small implanted defibrillator in his chest, and incredibly, just months later, Christian Eriksen returned to professional football, even playing at the next World Cup. A man whose heart stopped on live television, back doing the thing he loved most. Case 2. Fabrice Muamba. It's the 17th of March 2012 at White Hart Lane in London. It's an FA Cup quarter-final between Bolton and Tottenham, with 40,000 fans in the stadium and millions watching on TV. Bolton's young midfielder Fabrice Muamba, only 23 years old, is in the form of his life. Then, just before halftime, with no contact and no warning, Muamba crashes to the ground. The stadium falls silent as doctors sprint on, and what happened next is almost beyond belief. Muamba's heart stopped beating, not for seconds, not for minutes, but for 78 whole minutes. He was given 15 separate shocks, on the pitch, in the tunnel, and in the ambulance. A cardiologist who happened to be watching as a fan rushed down to help save him. Doctors twice came close to declaring him dead. By every medical expectation, he should not have survived, and if he did, they feared serious brain damage. Instead, Fabrice Muamba woke up, made a full recovery, and walked out of that hospital. Doctors called him a once-in-a-lifetime miracle. Case 3. Anthony van Loo. It's the 7th of June 2009 in Belgium, during a match between Roeselare and Royal Antwerp. Anthony van Loo is a 20-year-old defender who, the year before, had been diagnosed with a dangerous heart condition. Doctors told him he should stop playing. He refused, and instead had a tiny defibrillator implanted inside his own chest, a device designed to shock his heart back to life if it ever failed. And on this day, in front of the cameras, it did exactly that. Around 20 minutes into the game, with no one near him, Van Loo simply crumples to the turf, his heart thrown into a fatal rhythm, and then, as he lies motionless on the grass, his whole body suddenly jolts. The defibrillator buried in his chest has fired on its own, delivering a shock from the inside, and within seconds Van Loo comes back round. The entire moment, a man being brought back to life by a machine inside his own body, was caught on film and watched by millions. He simply got up, alive, saved by a device the size of a matchbox. Case 4. Iker Casillas. It's the 1st of May 2019 at Porto's training ground in Portugal. Iker Casillas is not just any player, he's a living legend, a World Cup winner with Spain, a man who lifted the Champions League 3 times with Real Madrid, and is considered one of the greatest goalkeepers in history. At 37, he's still playing at the top level for Porto. Then, during an ordinary training session, Casillas feels a sharp, crushing pain in his chest, mouth, and arms. He doesn't even realize what's happening, but his body is in the middle of a serious heart attack. The session is stopped instantly, and he's rushed to hospital. For a man who had saved everything thrown at him for 2 decades, this was the one shot he couldn't stop, and yet he survived it. His agent put it perfectly, saying that surviving this was a bigger victory than winning the World Cup, the best save Iker ever made. He never played competitively again, but the legend walked away with his life. Case 5. Tom Lockyer. It's recent history now, and Luton Town's captain Tom Lockyer has already had one terrifying scare, collapsing during the championship playoff final at Wembley in May 2023, the very day his club won promotion to the Premier League for the first time ever. He had surgery and was cleared to play again, but then, on the 16th of December 2023, During a live Premier League match away at Bournemouth, Lockyer falls to the ground face first, with no one around him. This time it's a full cardiac arrest. His heart has stopped. His manager sprints onto the pitch in tears. Medics resuscitate him in around 2 minutes, and the match is abandoned as the entire stadium chants his name. Lockyer survives, is fitted with an implanted defibrillator, and many assumed his career was over. But in an incredible twist, in late 2025, Tom Lockyer returned to the pitch and played competitive football once again. The captain, whose heart stopped twice, refusing to give up the game. 5 players, 5 hearts that stopped beating in front of the world. By all the odds of medicine, none of them should be here. But thanks to seconds that mattered, machines that fired, and people who refused to give up, every single one of them came back to life.